Hi, my name is Bot and today I want to cover a topic of horizon of expectation. The phrase horizons of expectation is a term fundamental to a German academic Hans Robert Jauss's reception theory. The concept is a component of this theory of literary history where his intention is to minimize the gulf between the schools of literature and history which have previously relegated the reader to play only a mere minor role in the interpretation of literature. Specifically, it is the structure by which a person comprehends, decodes and appraises any text based on cultural codes and conventions particular to their time in history. These horizons are therefore historically flexible, meaning readers may interpret and value a text differently from a previous generation. It emphasizes the reader as an important element in the processing of text. According to Jauss, the reader approaches a text armed with the knowledge and experience gained from interactions with other texts. These earlier texts arouse familiarity for the reader based on expectations and rules of genre and style. Jauss describes it this way: a literary work is not an object which stands by itself and which offers the same face to each reader in each period. Thus, reading is not an autonomous, free and individual experience, but rather a collection of mutual concepts fitting a period or a people. Jauss describes the reader as a functioning participant of the triangle of text, writer, and audience, and that is only the communication between reader and the text that will result in a shifting horizon of expectation. Interaction with the text can be a motive for the reader as their acquaintance with familiar features of genre can produce expectations for the middle and end after the beginning has provoked such anticipation. The horizon of expectations and rubrics invoked for a reader from previous texts will be aroused by a new text and are adjusted, transformed, or merely replicated depending on the boundaries of the genre. The horizon of change occurs when a reader's interaction with a new text results in invalidation of a familiar experience or provides a new encounter. The distance between the horizon of expectation and the horizon of change is called the aesthetic distance. A text of which no horizon of change occurs fulfills all of the expectations of the reader and can be considered light reading. This interaction satisfies the reader's sense of familiarity in the way of beauty, romanticism, and the expected happy ending. If a composition challenges a reader's expectation, it can do so either with a positive result in the way of a new perception or a negative one as in an unpleasant new experience. These expectations, however, may dissolve or a negative aspect of a new text may become explicit and thus form its own familiar expectation and become part of the horizon of future aesthetic experience. Texts which are not aimed at a particular readership but which still penetrate the familiar horizon of expectations so that those readers acquire them to the point that they become largely conventional, can result in other formally celebrated texts judged as past and thus completely disregarded. Deprived of his power to assign meaning, the reader can find his place in the process of communication, which is after all a process of information transmission between human individuals. However, even here, the reader is subject to severe restrictions laid down by the primacy of signification over communication. Quotation. A signification system is an autonomous semiotic construct that has an abstract mode of existence independent of any possible communicative act it makes possible. On the contrary, every act of communication to or between human beings or any other intelligent biological mechanical apparatus presupposes a signification system as its necessary condition. In this semiotic framework, the reader seems to be necessary only as a witness of his own burial. He loses his individualistic and psychological characteristics and becomes a metonym for the set of interpretive norms which have to be applied at the output of the communicative chain in order to recover the semantic and aesthetic properties of literary texts. Thank you very much for your attention. See you in the next video. Goodbye.